Hello guys, this is Mr. Valencia. Today we're going to be looking at another tech tool for math teachers during distance learning or remote learning. So on today's video, we're going to be looking at how to engage students using FluidMath. If you're not familiar with FluidMath, I'm providing you with the link to their website. And when you go on their website, this is what you're going to get. So I will advise you to set up a free trial so you could do some exploration. So when you click on free trial, you'll be able to register for a new account using your email address, first name and last name, and you'll be able to have make up your own username and password. So what does the platform actually look like? So once you have your account and you log in into the website, this is what you're gonna get. This is the menu. So on the main menu, you're going to click on FluidMath, which is then going to take you to the canvas for the program. So in the canvas, there's different options like math write, math type, draw, insert, clear. So I want to show you some of the things you could do on the platform. All right, so this is what the platform looks like. Let's say, for example, that we were exploring quadratic functions. So let's say that I was doing y is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, so notice I'm able to write it myself, and then I can make sure that this is exactly what I wanted to do. Now if I do this, it's going to give me the graph for my quadratic function, and I can also add the table to it. I can move the graph around, I can like zoom in or out. So this is very convenient. This is very nice. Notice, let's say that I was discussing x-intercepts with my class, so I can tell that this is crossing at like, it looks like -2 and +5. But I could double check, so I can make the graph, I could zoom in to see the -2 and the 5. I can also write down the equation and solve it. I could say like x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. And then I can solve for x by doing the following. So now I know that the x-intercepts are located at -2 and 5. So this is very interactive for students. Let me show you something else you could do. So let's go to a different page. So let's say now that I was discussing circles with my classes. So let's say that I have x minus h squared plus y minus k square is equal to r square. All right, so I have k, it has 1k, I just want k. Okay, so if I graph this, I should be able to get a circle. All right, so here's my circle. So FluidMath gives you the option of doing some sliders for like each one of the variables. So let's say if I do like h equals 0, right? And I do this, I can now play with the value of h and see immediately how that affects the graph of the circle. I could do the same thing for k. So let's say I want a k equals 0. And if I do that again, I can play with k and see what happens on the circle right away. And I'm also going to do it for r. I'm going to say, what if my radius was 1? Do the same thing. So now I can see what effect the radius has on the circle. Okay, which again could be this allows students to like play, which is very good. All right, another thing that you could do is you could also do graphs of with like polar coordinates. So for example, let's say that we had r is equal to let's say cosine of a theta. Okay, it's exactly what I wanted. So, and let's take a look at, once again, let's take a look at the graph, and let's change a. So let's say that a is equal to 1, and let's do some sliders in here. So you could play with the value of A. You could, remember, you can move this around. You could zoom in or out and then see what happens with the graph. We can, like, after you write the function, let's say that I wanted to add a coefficient in the front. So let's say that I wanted to add B. And then I could do the same thing for B. And see how that will affect my graph. All right, so this is very cool. And you could also look at the table. So the students can see how changing one coefficient, like what effects it has on the graph and on the table, how it affects the table. All right, another thing that you could do that I thought was pretty cool was an animation. So I'm gonna go to the option of drawing. Let's say that I had two objects. So I'm gonna draw a rectangle in here, two little wheels, and then I'm gonna do a circle with, or an oval with two little wheels, and then I'm gonna make a line. So now I'm going to call the object on top A, going to call the object on the bottom B, and I'm gonna say that A is moving at a rate of, let's say, 5t. And I'm gonna say that B is moving at a rate of t squared. I'm gonna bring this down to make sure. Oh, this does. So if you come across something like this, you can cross it out and then rewrite it. All right, so you know what? Let me do it again. So I'm gonna say bx is equal to t squared. All right, so I have my two objects. I have a of x, b of x. I'm also going to say that this line is, let's say, 100. All right, so if you go over to more, you can actually create an animation. All right, so let me show you this. This is actually pretty cool. All right, so now we have the two objects, A and B. We have like how each one is moving, and then we know that this line is 100, so we can actually see the animation and see what's happening. So I think this is like very cool, and the students will definitely like it. All right, so let me go back to my presentation. All right, so some of the things that I really like about FluidMath is that it allows students to like actually write the math and then see it, like, immediately the graph, the table. They can connect like the graph, the table with solving the equations for the intercepts, for example. The sliders are actually very good when they're learning a concept for the first time, because they could see, for example, that moving, like, what effect does the h have on the graph, right? Like, moving the h is going to move the circle horizontally. What about the r? And they could see that right away. It also does polar coordinates, among other things. And I also really like the animation. I think this is very cool. So in general, I think is a very interactive software, and I think it could be very helpful for distance learning or remote learning in engaging the students. All right, guys, so I think that is it for now. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.